Hi there. In this video, we'll be discussing how ChatGPT can summarise the Bank of England's Monetary Policy Committee, or MPC, minutes. First, let's define what the MPC is and what it does. The MPC is a committee within the Bank of England that's responsible for setting the monetary policy of the United Kingdom. This includes setting the official interest rate and controlling the supply of money in the economy. Each month, the MPC meets to discuss and decide on the appropriate monetary policy for the country. After the meeting, the MPC releases minutes of the meeting, which provide a detailed record of the discussion and the decisions made. These minutes can be quite long and technical, making them difficult for the average person to understand. This is where ChatGPT comes in. ChatGPT is a natural language processing tool that can summarise texts, such as the MPC minutes, into a shorter and more easily understandable form. To use ChatGPT to summarise the MPC minutes, you would simply input the full text of the minutes into the tool. ChatGPT will then generate a summary of the main points and key takeaways from the minutes. This can be incredibly useful for anyone looking to stay informed on the Bank of England's monetary policy, but doesn't have the time or technical knowledge to read through the full minutes. So there you have it, a quick overview of how ChatGPT can help summarise the Bank of England's MPC minutes. Thank you for watching. So as you will have guessed, that was an intro script written not by me, but by OpenAI's ChatGPT. In this video, we're going to dig deeper into GPT-3's confident claim that it can effectively summarise the Bank of England MPC minutes. We'll also take a look at Goldman Sachs' most recent earnings report and see how well it does summarising that. So finally, this is Richard Walker from Lucidate. Welcome to the first episode in this video series on foundation models, natural language processing, transformers and GPT-3. Let's dive in and put GPT-3 through its paces. In later videos in this series, we'll discuss how GPT-3 works, but in this video, we're going to look at why we would use it and what it can do. On your screen is a segment of the latest Bank of England MPC minutes. Full information about the international and domestic economies, data on demand and output, monetary and financial conditions, supply, costs and prices. Important stuff, but quite dense and dry, and weighing in at over 6,000 words. Let's start by asking GPT-3 to pull out all of the financial numbers from the text. To do this, we paste the text of the minutes into the browser, and at the beginning, provide a simple instruction of what we want done. So, let's start with extract the financial numbers from the following text. We then submit all of this text containing our request and the December 2022 MPC minutes to GPT-3. The results are frankly very disappointing. All we have is a list of numbers. The AI has been somewhat literal in its response to our request. So let's try something else. Let's be more specific in our request. Rather than just asking for financial numbers, we'll additionally request a summary of what they mean. Our request is now extract all financial numbers and summaries of what they mean from the following text. This is now very impressive. We get a one-line summary for each of the key metrics that GPT-3 found in the text. In addition, it summarised the summaries for us. Here we have a detailed, annotated list, a comparison of GDP figures for various economies, some commentary on commodities prices, a comparison of inflation levels, and finishing with some detailed interest rate commentary. A further summary at the end more than passes the Turing test, a very tight, grammatically correct summary that can be circulated around your firm within seconds of the MPC publishing their minutes. This shows a remarkable ability to summarise the data in a very human-like way. But what about other capabilities? Might we be able to classify information contained in the text and structure it so that we could load it into a spreadsheet? You'll notice that the minutes are numbered. We'll ask GPT-3 to classify the sentiment of each numbered paragraph. This would result in the sentiment of paragraphs being positive, neutral, or negative. Lucidate has produced a video on sentiment analysis for those of you that would like more detail on the topic. There's a link in the description. We'll write a simple prompt to perform the sentiment analysis on the text. In order to load the results into a spreadsheet, we'll ask GPT-3 to provide a delimiter between the sentence and the sentiment score. The often used comma would be a poor choice here for delimiter, as here commas will appear in the text. Instead, in this case, we'll use a pipe, which is a shift backslash on most keyboards. We'll specify the format that we want GPT-3 to return the data after the MPC text. We can load this result data straight into a spreadsheet and use the pipe delimiter as a way of classifying each paragraph as positive, neutral, or negative. Let's take this one step further. A common way to encode information to share between computer systems is JSON, or JavaScript Object Notation. Think of JSON like a dictionary where you can look up words and find their meanings. In a JSON file, you have the keys, just like words in a dictionary, and values, like the definitions of the words in your dictionary. These keys and values are separated by a colon in JSON, and multiple key value pairs are separated by a comma. The whole thing is written in a particular format using curly braces and square brackets so that a computer can read it. For example, a simple JSON file might look like this. This JSON file has 3 key value pairs. The first pair has a key of name and a value of Alice. The second pair has a key of age and a value of 30. The third pair has a key of city and a value of New York. JSON is often used to send data over the internet because it's easy for computers to read and write, and because it's easy for humans to read and write as well. It's a very common data format, and many applications use it to send data back and forth. So let's revisit our earlier tasks. We'll first ask GPT-3 to extract all of the financial numbers that it encounters, provide an explanation of their significance, and write the output to a JSON file. We'll then revisit our sentiment analysis. This time, we'll ask GPT-3 to classify the paragraphs as hawkish, dovish, or neutral, and then put the output to JSON. So here is our first task. We'll first construct our prompt before the MPC minutes, then immediately after the minutes text, we'll specify the format of the JSON file we want. The results are swift and very impressive. It's very simple to convert all of this data into a table, a set of bullets in a presentation. These subheadings could be in a larger research report for clients or fed to forecasting systems that crunch macroeconomic data. By constructing a prompt and the data formats that we wish to see, we're able to very quickly extract the economic semantics from the document. Now let's turn to the classification task. Once again, we'll first write our prompt before the text of the MPC minutes. Then, immediately after the minutes, we specify the format that we want. Not a lot of dovish language emerging from the UK's central bank right now. Once again, it's incredibly quick to summarise and classify the key content in the document and render it in a form where it can be shared with other teams and systems. Before we conclude, let's switch from the world of monetary policy and fixed income and into equities. Here we analyse Goldman Sachs Q3 2022 earnings call, released on October the 18th, 2022. The full transcript has over 11,800 words. We'll first ask GPT-3 to pull out the financial numbers with the prompt on the screen. We can see how easily it can pick out quarterly revenues, EPS, ROE, book value, and a host of other financial metrics, as well as breakdowns by department. We can also perform a more qualitative analysis and pull out the key initiatives and highlight their importance. This provides a convenient summary of the strategy for Goldman and may highlight short-term differentiators with respect to their peers. As before, we can specify the output in a structured format that we can more readily share with both colleagues and computer systems. Finally, let's do the same thing, outputting a JSON file, but this time with financial metrics. Here we can quickly pull out the key metrics from nearly 12,000 words in a structured form. This can be fed directly into fundamental analysis models, as well as used to evaluate the relative performance of firms across an industry sector. We've seen how powerful GPT-3 can be in summarising earnings calls and monetary policy summaries. Both of these media tend to be quite long and technical, and it can be very helpful to have a summary of the key points. GPT-3 can analyse transcripts and generate a summary that captures the most important information from the call. This can save time for analysts and investors who need to stay informed about the performance of the markets they follow. In this video, we've looked at why you would want to use these language tools and what you can do with them. In the next videos, we will address how they accomplish their impressive results. While you certainly do not need to know all of the technical details to be able to use these impressive AI tools, an understanding of their architectures helps in designing effective prompts to generate the optimum results. Please join me in the next video, where we will address some of the key architectural points in these models.